Hi, welcome to IBC 2018. I'm Joe O'Halloran, Editor-in-Chief of Rapid TV News, and I'm here with Aditya Ganjam, Chief Product Officer of Conviva. Aditya, welcome to IBC.
Thank you for having me.
Now, as we can see around us, it's still really busy, and it's been a busy show. It's been a very busy year for the industry. What trends have you been tracking over the last 12 months?
Yeah, we've been seeing tremendous growth in streaming overall. We saw over 115% growth in streaming Q2 to previous Q2. A lot of it on mobile apps and connected TV platforms. And among all the traffic we see, we've seen over 50% of traffic on connected TV platforms, which has been a big part of the growth. And then we saw significant concurrency with a lot of the live events, World Cup. We saw over 9 million concurrent plays on World Cup, which hit a record for us and I think many others. And sports, I think, has continued to drive the largest events and will continue to do so going forward. Not just the big marquee events, but many of the other events that are happening throughout the year are driving tremendous traffic. And also the emergence of streaming live TV, the virtual MVPDs in the US and also happening in Europe, we're seeing are driving significant hours of streaming and modeling the linear TV broadcast model and driving significant growth in streaming. So those are some of the key drivers and trends we see that are significantly growing scale and driving us to increase our scale and supporting those type of traffic.
You just mentioned there about live events, and 2018 has certainly been the year of using online video in major sporting events. However, it's also been the year when some issues have been revealed. Is it really true to say it's just a little bit too soon to expect the same type of quality we see of traditional services using online video when you're scaling massively?
Yeah, I think these incidents during the large events, I think, point to the general complexity of streaming overall. I think we've seen many publishers who start out when they first launch, they run into these hiccups, they learn from it, and then they get better and better, and they're able to achieve streaming level quality over time. And so when we see a new service launch, maybe this year, they may have those hiccups, then they'll learn from that about what are the end-to-end challenge of streaming. Do I have my encoding set up right? Am I connected to the originals correctly? Do I have my profiles set up correctly? Are my apps done correctly? Is my authentication scaled up? So as every service is a little bit different, but they all have to get those things right. And as they run their service, maybe encounter a few incidents, learn from it, and then scale up from that, they all, I'm confident all of them will figure it out, even the ones that may have had issues this year.
How have those challenges changed over the last 12 months? What are you seeing as Conviva in terms of what you're having to do for the clients that's different?
I think the things that has changed is more the audience expectation. I think the core challenges conceptually are the same. They are maybe different in different services because they're deployed differently, but they're overall the same conceptual challenge, but the audience expectations are growing. Even a 2-minute outage is unacceptable nowadays, which maybe 5 years ago people were more tolerant to. So while the same things may have broken, now it's no longer acceptable. So what is expected from us as a monitoring and quality of experience product is much faster detection and faster identification of problems so they can fix them within minutes and not take 20 minutes, 30 minutes to find and fix these problems. And also looking at the whole end-to-end ahead of time with more scrutiny to figure out all the places where things may go wrong ahead of time and be much more prepared as their events go live.
So given all that and your job of managing expectation and the more complex challenge mix, how is that reflected here at IBC?
Yeah, so one thing we're seeing a lot of requests from our customers is much more granularity in understanding issues. So before it was okay to see what is the performance on an iPhone, what's the performance on a Roku, how is it happening on one CDN versus another, and generally if there are major issues, fix them. But that's not good enough anymore, and what our clients are expecting is being able to get to the deep granularity of if it's happening, what happened at this point in time? Was it a bitrate switch that caused this problem? Was it Wi-Fi signal had an issue? And then really getting into the granular details of what is my performance now and how do I make it twice as better a quarter from now? What are all those changes that I can be making across my streaming platform to continuously improve performance week over week?
Which, given that level of complexity, that is a challenge, I'd say, addressed by AI. How are you guys pushing the AI envelope
Yes,
forward?
so last year at IBC we launched our AI Alerts solution, and we're continuing to enhance that. What the AI Alert solution does is it automates the detection and the initial diagnostics of a problem. So it may identify there's a rebuffering spike. We've identified that down to a specific CDN in a specific region. So this is work that a machine is now doing within seconds that would take a human minutes or tens of minutes to eventually triangulate to that. So now we've cut off that whole part of it and identified this particular segment. Now it can go to the right person to then figure out what action do I take to fix it. Now some things that we realized after we built it is, well, if we send that alert to the same person all the time, that person may not be able to take action. Some of the actions may be within CDN, some of the actions may be at the device side. So we've been enhancing this further to then have the intelligence to say, if it's a CDN issue, let's actually send the alert to the CDN directly. So that's a module we've just released, actually, this IBC, to enhance the alerting capability to not just identify the issue, diagnose the issue, but also decide who do I send the issue to. So that's further closing the loop in diagnosing and closing the loop to action, reducing that time to resolution.
Which, wrapping up, suggests it's a whole different world of solving different problems involving different parts of corporations and enterprises.
Yeah.
How did this start? Or is there any end to what new problems are you going to be solving?
Yes, there's still a significant opportunity to just tackle more problems, and within the quality of experience realm, we see more opportunity to understand deeper into what is the true root cause of issues. I think there's still significant opportunity. If we say, there's an issue at a CDN, well, which server in the CDN? If it's a device, well, is it which layer of the software stack? So there are opportunity there that we continue to pursue. But then also, given that the business of streaming is growing, there's significant opportunity tackling more business side challenges around churn, understanding how is experiencing impacting churn, or what are other factors that are impacting churn that we can then use AI to predict who are the people who are likely to churn in the near future and what can be done to reduce that impact. There's also other ways to then mix data across the application layer and the network layer to then further identify down into the network which are the issues that can be causing problems. So I think that there's a whole spectrum of areas where AI can help, and I think it's still very early in the process of how data is being used.
So nowhere near table stakes at the moment?
Not yet. There's still a lot more that can be done here.
I look forward to seeing it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.